Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And guys, I just want to quickly say I appreciate every single one of you for always pressing that like button and being subscribed to the channel. We are still doing a face reveal once we get to 150k subs. Alright, imagine you wake up, it is the 4th of July, you see a new Dusty VC or Moon Lambo notification that Ripple has just come to an extremely juicy settlement with the SEC. Twitter is also completely filled and everybody's going crazy. What is the first thing that you would do? Now, I'm asking this not only to mock the whole lawsuit here and to kind of put some wishful thinking in there. No, I'm actually asking this because I've expressed a couple of times before, specifically on Patreon as well, that I have a specific tactic for when Ripple gets this lawsuit settled to go on a really specific trade with a lot of money to try and literally make a couple $1,000,000 that specific day. I've expressed to a couple of times before. I want to know from you guys as well if you have a strategy or a tactic, or if you're just going to rejoice, if you're just going to, scream outside naked, or what you're going to do. Just let me know in the comment section down below. Then, Plan B just went over to Twitter to state, my on-chain data color overlay in the chart below tells me that this bull run is not over and 64,000 was not the top. That's in line with the stock to flow model. Also, my floor indicator, not based on the stock to flow, says we will not go below $47,000 at the August close. And Michael from the Popa is also agreeing with this, or at least happy about it. To be honest with you guys, I am not sure if this model will hold up, but it has held up throughout the bigger picture of things, and even though he will just adjust it if it doesn't work anymore, so I mean, it's not perfect, it's not a proven thing, it is kind of fun to a certain degree to just kind of follow along with this, enjoy it, see it. I'm not exactly sure what to tell you. It's just fun to understand that one guy made a model and there's some logic in that, and also he has such a lot of hope because of Bitcoin's halving cycles and just the idea that because of scarcity, this is the course that Bitcoin would take. It's just something to kind of believe in it and feel, I guess. But theoretically speaking, he's saying that Bitcoin in 2025 is going to be worth like a couple $1,000,000 each. What if, huh? What if? Now, moving over, FTSO.eu. We are a signal provider for Federated networks, FTSO, that will be available worldwide. That's what they are. Well, they have put on Twitter, sorry Ripple, but we decided to change our default UNL using the XRPLF Ledger Foundation one instead of yours. Our XRP validated.ftso.eu is now using the vl.xplf.org note list, and yeah. More about xplf.org can be found here. Okay, so the thing you need to know is that we've talked a couple of times by now about the unique note list. There's actually a multitude of different ones that you could use. You could set one up yourself, theoretically speaking. You could use one from a respectable party, which is most recommended, and Ripple has one. Now, most of these parties use Ripple's unique note list because it's easiest, but to conserve decentralization and to make sure that Ripple doesn't have control over everything because they provide the UNL, which are, again, the trusted parties which can control the XP ledger, they have to be kind of diversified, and if everybody makes their own UNL, things would kind of go strange. But if a lot of people just diversify the UNL, you will still keep this security in the network while also allowing for more decentralization and more, I guess, staying away from Ripple themselves. Even though XRP Ledger Foundation is still tied to Ripple, it is still different, though, than doing the official Ripple, I guess. And it's already a start, I guess, of just kind of getting all out there. Somebody said, I don't understand. Well, FTSO explained, in case of conflict, the XRP Ledger protocol has tiebreakers named validators. Every node on the XP network can choose its list, but when you set up, the default is the list provided by Ripple. We can just change it for our XRP node using the one provided by the XP Ledger Foundation to help decentralization. And yeah, people are excited about this. Even David Schwartz said, more people thinking about the details and taking an active role in governance is very good. This helps increase the network's defenses against very unlikely but potentially very devastating structural attacks. So, I also put over on Twitter that I believe that David Schwartz has actually argued that XRP had utility before Bitcoin had it. And that's actually one key argument about the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit that you guys should think about. Like, think about it like this. The XRP v. SEC lawsuit is based upon the idea that right now XRP is being sold as an investment contract, not only by Ripple, but by everybody. It brings, however, to a point that it is all about the common enterprise, is what some lawyers have said, but others have said no, it's about the fact that it's a centralized kind of network. And so it all kind of comes back to, is it really different than Bitcoin and Ether is? If so, then why and how? Yet the SEC doesn't want to give that role. Let's stop, though, for a little second. If a specific crypto is properly decentralized and has no utility, there's still a question of, okay, what does it do and who exactly issued it then, for what purpose and all of that. There's like a ton of different questions, but it's less about security. It's more about what exactly should we value it at. It's still a little bit of a discussion, because if it serves no purpose but it's properly decentralized, then there's no real controller. But what exactly does it do? Is it an asset? Is it a currency? I mean, if it's properly decentralized, it should be. But then again, if it has no use case, then things get a little bit fishy. The bigger problem, however, is if things are quote-unquote centralized, claimable, and don't do anything, that things get kind of strange. Why? Well, think about it. If XRP had a lot of utility and it's properly decentralized, then there would have been no question, right? Because you can't say it's a security at all. Then again, some people like to argue it. Let's actually kind of cut the whole circle, right? Let me come to the point. If XRP had utility before Bitcoin at the same time, some guys saying that XRP is security because of Ripple and all of that, it sometimes actually gets on my nerves, because all these arguments, they all come back to the same thing, which is people not knowing the full situation, or people being nuanced, unnuanced, basically, the other way, for claiming Bitcoin is a certain thing or Ethereum is a certain thing, but XRP isn't. It's just an interesting situation, very annoying, but it's the way it is. David Schwartz, the CTO, went on to say on Twitter, actually a very long thread, one of the things he just said was, I'm not sure how I can make it clearer. The internet grew to a decentralized, censorship-resistant open system, but its early growth came from the military, governments, and even big information providers and access providers. First, it was adopted by early visionaries looking for an edge or advantage. Later, even those it threatened had no choice but to adopt it, and gradually, it changed the way information moves globally and gained wide adoption. That is the XRP strategy. If banks responded by building walled gardens, we'll position XRP to bridge across those walled gardens, and if they want one big walled garden to take over, they'll have to be as open as we are, which is definitely nice to hear. Whatever obstacles they throw at Ripple/XRP, it will come out on top. Then Da Vinci Jeremy on Twitter stated, I am holding Bitcoin until I only fly on private jets or until I'm cleaning them. Now, one fun thing is that the majority of people are, not really in the same position where holding a little bit of crypto is going to get you to fly private jets, but the idea, I think, is quite right, which basically, I, too, am holding crypto to the bitter end of either side, of either extreme. Either we do extremely good or we do extremely bad. I do not care. I mean, of course, I want the better option, the more profitable option, but I'm not going to sell regardless. We're going to go either side, either extremely good or extremely bad, but that's the only outcome for me. And I kind of feel as if a lot of you guys are on the same page too, where it's like, there's no middle ground here with crypto. Is that a good or a bad thing? You decide that for yourself. I think it's a good thing. Then a little bit of a discussion went on. Stewart put up Saudi Central Bank and Central Bank of the UAE Joint Digital Currency and Distributed Ledger Project 2020 and 2021, or no, 2020 November. Project Aber, qualification criteria, Ripple and Stellar ruled out because the obvious need for permissioning and privacy for interbank payment use case. He then asked Joe Katz, can this, the Federated Sidechains on the XP Ledger, solve this? The answer is yes. Sidechains to the XP Ledger for developers have been a proposal from quite recently, and the fun fact is that there's so ridiculously much of these sidechains. Amazon could run on it, specific CBDCs could run on it, there's infinite capabilities, and almost any proposal that's been put up before, if XRP Ledger could actually update to have federated sidechains, almost every single thing questioned before can be a definite yes from now on forward. However, it's still a proposal, it still hasn't come in, but it's a really great proposal. I can't really see the downside, but maybe that's also because I'm not a developer, and I don't know what the downside would be. But the upside, however, is extremely good, which is basically these smaller chains that can fix different problems. Let's just see it in that easy fashion. You can go as deep into it as you want. There's a whole full thread on it here, but this is, I think, good for now. We've covered this all before on the channel, I believe. I think twice. And then one article I just saw was this right here. How to mine Doge. An 18-year-old TikTok influencer shares his process for earning crypto without directly buying via a $700 rig and explains how it works for other altcoins, including Litecoin. Not exactly sure why this article is posted on Business Insider. You actually have to pay to watch these articles. This is a little demonstration for you guys that it is possible to get around that paywall. I do not recommend this. This is only for professional show. Please do not replicate this at home. How you do it is by actually disabling the JavaScript. Once more, guys, this is just for educational purposes only. I am not trying to get this content for free. I'm just trying to show you guys that it is possible. And here was the article, right? So this is how it worked. Now, okay, that's just a little bit of a side note. So, guys, the article here is actually pretty stupid in my opinion. Why? Well, it comes to the fact that this guy says, well, to mine for actual money, you need, for example, an Ethereum miner, but that's too expensive. What he does is uses a little bit of money with his rig to mine Dogecoin, for example, and some Litecoin, and then convert it to different crypto. The idea is nice. However, I'm also sometimes wondering, if we're talking, for example, an 18-year-old TikTok influencer with 500,000 followers, if this person would, for example, set up some heavy rigs, right? Let's say, for example, $5,000 worth for 2 rigs, maybe. Who's going to pay for the electricity? I mean, logically, a lot of you guys are in the US, but if you're, for example, in the Netherlands, your electricity is going to run you, for example, 22 euro cents per kilowatt hour. And in comparison to, for example, some other countries, $7 cents. So that's, again, let's say in comparison, it's 5 times more expensive than other countries to mine cryptocurrencies in the Netherlands because electricity is just so ridiculously expensive. I sometimes wonder if these people think or even pay their own electricity. I know people that don't. Let me actually rephrase that. I know some younger people, let's say they're about maybe, well, let's pick something. I don't know how old, maybe 21 years old that still live with the parents. They don't pay their own electricity. They go mine like mad and they don't really care because they're making some crypto gains. I personally think if you have your own home, you bought yourself a rig or you pay for electricity, I don't really care exactly how you do it, or you rent a place, which that's also a possibility. There's actually places to rent out in, for example, Eastern Europe, even Iceland and whatnot, or Belgium as well, where you can actually rent a spot to run your miners, where you pay them electricity plus a stalling fee, basically. But that's also one thing. Now, if you do that, it might actually be worth it to get some mining rigs set up. Why? If you're not going too heavy with it and you don't need heavy machinery and heavy, I guess, oversight over it, it might actually be worth it because this way you're forced to get crypto and you pay electricity for it. Paying electricity instead of buying crypto is so much easier if you start to think about it, right? The only downside, I guess, is if you don't buy your rig, I guess, with a company or in some way, shape, or form where you can deduct it nicely, it's actually quite a big problem because you're going to have to pay the rig up front and that thing has to pay itself back. It might be so that you're actually losing out on a lot of money, but not just buying crypto instead of buying the rig. But whatever. Guys, that's just a little bit of a thing. Don't just follow blindly into people that have a lot of social media following. I've expressed this tons and tons and tons of times before, even on my channel here. Don't just blindly follow whatever I say or whatever I do. Always do your own due diligence, and I'm trying to give these things as factual as possible while giving my opinion next to it. But if you want, you can only use the objective side of things and then move on with that, because in the end, my opinion is nothing more than an opinion. All right, thank you guys all for watching. See you guys again in another crypto video, and enjoy your day.